Welcome back to Year 9 Chemistry, and welcome to a brand new topic, atomic structure. This is Week 3, Session 1, Dalton and Thomson, Building the Atomic Idea. Nobody has ever seen an atom with the naked eye. So how did scientists work out what atoms are like? The answer is one of the best detective stories in science, and it starts 200 years ago with careful measurements and a solid little sphere. Your 4 goals. First, describe Dalton's solid sphere model. Second, explain how Thomson's cathode ray evidence changed that model. Third, learn to distinguish an observation from an inference from a model. And fourth, explain why scientific ideas can change without science becoming unreliable. In the early 1800s, John Dalton measured how substances react, and he argued that matter is made of atoms. In his model, each atom is a tiny, indivisible solid sphere. Atoms of different elements have different masses, and they combine in simple whole number ratios. The model explained real evidence. Compounds have fixed composition. Water, for example, always contains hydrogen and oxygen in the same proportion. Note what Dalton's atom did not have. No nucleus, no shells, no neutrons, just a solid ball. And for the evidence available, that was enough. Almost a century later, J.J. Thomson studied cathode rays, glowing beams inside evacuated glass tubes. Watch the beam. When an electric field is applied, the beam bends toward the positive plate. Opposites attract, so the beam must carry negative charge. And here is the crucial detail. The same rays appeared whatever metal the apparatus was made from. These particles were not special to one element. They seemed to come from inside all atoms. So Thomson proposed a new model. If atoms contain tiny negative particles, later called electrons, but atoms are neutral overall, the negative charge must be balanced. His plum pudding model pictures electrons embedded in a diffuse region of positive charge, like fruit in a pudding. The positives and negatives cancel, so the atom is neutral. Dalton's indivisible sphere could not explain the new evidence, so the model had to change. Atoms contain smaller parts. Now the thinking skill examiners love. Observation versus inference. An observation is what you directly see. An inference is what you conclude. Classify these 4. A glowing beam appears in the tube. Observation. The beam bends toward the positive plate. Observation. The beam contains negatively charged particles. That is an inference. We concluded it from the bending. Electrons are present in all atoms. Also an inference. See the pattern? You can watch a beam bend, but you cannot watch a charge. Charge is inferred from behavior. This story teaches us how science develops. A model is kept while it explains the evidence better than the alternatives. A new result can support the model, expose a limitation, or force the model to be modified or replaced. And changing a model is not a weakness. It is the whole point. It shows that scientific explanations respond to evidence instead of ignoring it. Here is a writing frame you can reuse in any answer about scientific models. Evidence. Cathode rays bend toward the positive plate, whatever metal is used. Inference. Atoms contain small, negatively charged particles. Model change. Replace the indivisible sphere with the plum pudding model. Electrons embedded in positive charge. Evidence, inference, model change. 3 sentences, full marks. Quick check. Question 1. Which subatomic particle did Thomson's work reveal? Pause and answer. The electron. Question 2. Why did Dalton's indivisible model need revision? Because the evidence showed atoms contain smaller particles. Your recap. Dalton modeled atoms as tiny, indivisible solid spheres built on reaction evidence. Thomson's cathode rays bent toward the positive plate, revealing the electron and giving us the plum pudding model. And remember the latter: observation, inference, model. Next session, a thin sheet of gold foil demolishes the plum pudding. Rutherford, Bohr, and Chadwick. For the full course, with practice questions and the final exam, visit www.broadcast2exam.com. See you there.